Okay, well, Kufar Akbar, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Cross and the Crescent discussion group. This is a show dedicated to rightly dividing the truth between Christianity and Islam. We are broadcasting live from the cavernous depths of the Kafir cave in Dar al-Harb, Kafiristan, once again. And I'm fired up again. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for this show. Today, we're going to be talking about, I know it's a shocker. It's a big shocker. I got like a disconnect here. Can I do something? Let me try something here. No, that's not going to work. Because I'm looking at, it doesn't matter. All right, never mind. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be looking at Islam, of course, and the idea of another Islamic Holocaust. And I know you're saying, oh, another one. What do you mean another one? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to be discussing some of the past Islamic, what they would call conquests, but we would call ethnic cleansing, genocide, things of this nature. You know, when you completely eradicate a people group and murder them because of their religious orientation. So I have a slideshow that I put together. Of course, I know you're all shocked. Oh no, Eric, in a slideshow? Really? This cannot happen. Oh, well, on contraire, it has happened once again. I put together a slideshow, and let me just put this up here because this, oops, let's get back over here. Nope, that's not it. You think I would have been ready for this? I've been ready for this since last Sunday, for crying out loud. Okay, so we're going to put it up on the screen share, right? Screen share. That's what you got to do. Present, screen share. And I think I see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Share it. Come on, amateur. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a bunch of slides that I had. I actually went in and screenshotted these things. There's 73 of them. I promise you, I'm not going to spend an inordinate amount of time on this. But I went to Bill Warner's website, Political Islam, Center for the Study of Political Islam. Let me make sure I get that right. And it's CSPI publishing.com. Okay, there you go. And what he has there is he has a listing of all 581 Islamic attacks since Muhammad was a prophet. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to go through these. I'm warning you right now, there's 73 of them, but I'm going to go through them really quick so as not to bore everybody. But I want you to see, this is what I want you to see. If you go to, again, Bill Warner's YouTube video, 1400 Years, What Are We Still Afraid Of? You go to that one, and he basically has this battle map, and I've shown it before here on the show, where it shows you all of the Islamic attacks on Western civil. That's just Western civilization. We're not talking about going east. We're not talking about going into the Hindu Kush and Hindustan and going. Yeah, they even fought the Chinese, for crying out loud. Who fights the Chinese, for Pete's sake, over religion? Islam does. So here's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and run you through this really quick. I hear some noise in the background, but that's okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Dr. Bill, for doing this. So if you look at, it starts with the Battle of Badr, goes to Hud, Khaybar, Mecca, Medina. Let me do my laser pointer here. Yeah, okay. And then we got up to the Byzantines, Mecca again, Muhammad, the Rushahdin Caliphate, 632. This is after Muhammad got himself dead. Again, and let me say again something about the Rushahdin Caliphate. Let me just say, make sure we understand this about the. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. What was going to do right here? Okay, let me just say, make sure we understand this. There is no extant evidence outside of Islamic literature that mentions any of the four rightly guided caliphs. There's nothing that mentions Abu Bakr, Omar, Uthman, or Ali. Nothing outside of extant Islamic literature discusses them prior to the end of the Rushahdin Caliphate, which would have been 661 when Ali was killed, I think somewhere around there. So when we start talking about the Rushahdin Caliphate, it's like this fairy tale that's made up with no evidentiary support whatsoever. Let's go back to the slideshow. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let's see. Muslim forces, Persia. Okay, they're already over in Persia. This is a year after Muhammad's dead.
Can you make it bigger, Eric?
Can I make it bigger?
Yeah, because we can't see any of it.
Yeah, I do like the highlighting part though, but I can't read what's highlighted.
Okay, hold on. You guys,
yeah, it's too small.
You guys are just way too.
Oh, come on, Eric. The rule of thumb: nothing smaller than 18.
Okay. This is what I copied and pasted this, Hamajama. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if this works.
Yeah, I'm with Eric. I don't think the Rashidun caliphs existed. I think those were all made up and redacted back into the supposed 7th century. Kind of like Muhammad. We don't have anything outside of Islamic sources. Kind of like, trust me, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Is this any better?
No, well, it's
slightly better, but not much. There we go.
Okay,
that's
better.
Okay, how's that?
You can blow it up about 2 or 3 more times.
Ah, my goodness. You guys are killing me, Small.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
Okay, now we can read it.
Okay, well, we can't read over on this side of the page, though. Look at over here.
Well, we don't need the sources.
All right, that's right. All right, okay, all right. Okay, 633. You got the Muslims and Christian Arabs fighting. 634, Khaybar. 634. The Ghassanids, these guys are from the Sassanid Empire, which is the Persian Empire. Kufa is established. What do we got here? Muslim forces victorious, led by Khalid, who was a piece of crap. Muslim Gaza conquer. Oh, they conquered Gaza. They still can't get rid of it. Muslim Arabs versus Persian Sassanids. 636, 638, Caliph Umar goes to Jerusalem. 642-52, the Khazars, Judaism was the cause. So this is the first attack on Judaism outside of the Bana Qurayza, Kanuka, and the Deers. Cyrus, Patriarch of Alexandria. Okay, they're over in Egypt. This is 641. Sassanids again right here. Egypt and Tripoli. Byzantine Empire's attack. That's up in what is now Constantinople. Oh, they're looking up there. They're already up in Armenia. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Alexandria is permanently occupied by Muslims. That would be in Egypt. That's 14 years after the death of Muhammad. Byzantium, Byzantines, Rhodes, Byzantines again. Turkey invaded by Arab Muslims, which is Byzantine Empire. Byzantines, and Berbers. Let's see. Muslim Arabs invading starts 677. Let's see. Arab forces versus the Byzantines. Then you have this internal civil war. This is Zubair and Abd al-Malik. Abd al-Malik is the one that built the Dome of the Rock, by the way, and also started building the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Let's keep going. Let's see. What is this? The Indus Valley. This is over in
India.
There you go. India. Yep, there we go. Let's see here. Muslim governor. Okay. Samarkand, an ancient city in Uzbekistan. That's Western Asia, or that's Central Asia, folks. That's 712. A Suleiman laid siege to Constantinople. They were not. They laid. Look at it. They laid siege 717. They weren't able to conquer that. I think it was 1453, 52 is when they finally conquered.
I think 53 is right. We'll see in a minute, but yeah.
Okay. Berbers versus the Visigoths. So they're fighting the Roman conquerors, I guess. Visigoth. This is Western Europe. Versus the Umayyad Muslims. Okay. 717. Arabs, Byzantines, Muslim forces in Sardinia. Now that's right off the western coast, western coast of Italy, for crying out loud. They're up there monkeying around with people from Sardinia. Narbonne. Let's see. Berber Arab forces conquer Carcassonne. I don't even know where that is. Does anybody know where that? Oh, France. Here it is. It's right here, France. Arab forces recapture Bukhara. Bordeaux invaded by Muslim forces, which again is in France. European forces. Charles Martel. This is Tours right here. This is where Charles Martel, the hammer, finally pushes them back. This is as far west as they got, just south of Paris. Let's see, Byzantine Christians, Muslim navies invaded Europe, taking women and men as slaves. Shocker. Charles Martel and the Saracens. Charles Martel again. Charles Martel again. He's out to 739. Let's keep going. Chinese. China. Who fights the Chinese? What do you declare? Why are you that far east? Good night. The Basques, the Franks versus the Muslims, the Abbasids.
Well, the thing about fighting the Chinese that early on, they weren't united for anything. So that's the only advantage they had as the Muslims. The Chinese were not united in any way.
But it's like saying, okay, well, we're fighting a defensive war while they attack the rest of the world. It makes absolutely this idea that we only want to be here for peace. We don't want to conquer the world. And this is my point. It's a bunch of crap, is what it is.
Yes.
And this is why I'm putting you through all of this pain. Let's see, the Spanish Moors attack. Who do they? The Europeans, of course. The Moors were from.
Yeah.
Arab armies advanced to the Bosphorus, which is by Constantinople. The Franks and the Moors are fighting. The Alexandria is seized by 15,000 of the Umayyad. Crete, which is over by Greece, is conquered by Muslims. Versus Christians in Sicily. Palermo is conquered by the Tunisian Arabs. Rome is raided by Muslim Arabs. Muslim navy attacked. Let's see. Saracens again versus Christians. Christians are persecuted in Cordoba, which is in Spain. Muslim Arabs invade Malta. Palestine and Egypt invaded by Arab Muslims. Jerusalem's brought under the Cairo Caliphate. Syria is conquered. Arabs take Syracuse. Tunisia, the Samanids, led by Ishmael ibn Abd, conquer Talis. Okay, there you go, which is Central Asia. Leo of Tripoli. They abduct 20,000 people to be sold as slaves. Not a big deal. Of course not. Arabs versus the Byzantines. Emirates of Cordoba versus Christian armies in Lyon, France. occupied by the Fatimans. Where is this? This is, I don't even know where this is. Does anybody know where that is? The Ifriqiya? I don't even know where that is. Morocco is seized by the Fatimans. Oman's conquered. Fatiman raids occurred in these regions, the French coast, Genoa, and Calabria. Berbers captured Alexandria. So as you can just see, it goes on and on and on and on. This is the 10th century we're in.
If Phrygia is today's Tunisia and Eastern Algeria.
Okay, all right. So it's North Africa. Okay, good.
Yes.
Kingdom of Spain is conquered. Muslims take over Anatolia. Byzantines, Muslims destroyed the Shrine of Santiago in Spain. Emperor Bus defeated Arabs in Syria. Church of the Holy Sepulchre is destroyed. It just keeps going on and on. Okay, I don't know how much y'all can take. Slujaks. Now, if you guys want this slideshow,
Yeah,
email me. Yeah, email me, and I will attach it and send it to you.
Eric,
What?
What you're saying here, to sum it up.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Here's the Crusades. Oh, look at the Crusades. Oh, no. The Crusades. Those evil crusaders. How dare you take your land? I'm sorry, Red. Go ahead.
Well, what you were saying here is very clearly that Islam, from the very beginning, was a genocidal ideology that was set to do ethnic cleansing and genocide on people that did not believe in their false prophet and their false God.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Let there be no confusion about what I'm saying here.
And they were colonizing through exploitation other regions of the world, setting up colonies,
their religion upon impose their religion upon those people that they colonized or conquered. And if you didn't accept the religion, what happened? Oh, wow.
Oh, off with their heads.
Yeah.
That's where that phrase probably came from.
Let me just take a break here from all of this bloodbath and slaughter. What were we saying? We were talking about the colonizers. What would I just lost my train of thought on that.
The Muslim colonizers.
We were talking about that, but when we start talking, this is where we hear this constant mantra, especially now with the Palestinian issue being first in front of almost everybody today in the news, calling the Jews a bunch of ethnic cleansers, murderers, genocidal, whatever you want, name you want to call them, and that's what they're doing. They're doing this to all of Western civilization, all the while, completely ignoring what Islam has done for it's not just part of its history, its entire history. Now, we can say, oh, well, they took a pause during the Crusades, and that's because we finally said enough. We, Christianity said enough. We are no longer going to allow this to happen. As a matter of fact, we're going to come back and go back to these holy places that we want to send our pilgrims to, that you are raping, robbing, and murdering when they go there. Oh, by the way, after 700 years, they finally did something about it. So now what we're looking at here is we're just looking at a little offense. And here's the fact. This is the fact. All of this time, especially today, if the Western world wanted to go into Islamic lands and take them, like, for example, let's say if we wanted to go into Iraq, if we really wanted to go in Iraq and start acting like Islamists, like those groups, we have more than the capability to do it. Oh, by the way. As a matter of fact, we would be very, very efficient at it. If we decided to take on this ideology where you are going to do exactly what we tell you to do, and if you don't, we're going to kill you. That's the ISIS and all of this Islamist type mentality that we're seeing in this slideshow here. This is exactly what if the Western world wanted to do it, the Christian world wanted to do it today, we could. But we never would. And here's why. Because we have the love of Christ in our hearts, and we would never do that to other human beings. It doesn't even occur to us to do that. But yet, the first thing that comes to these people's mind is what they read in the Quran, what they read in the Hadith, and what they read in the Sirah. And that is kill and conquer and impose. So this
is not political Islam, the creation called Islamist, the word created to imply that Islam can be separated from politics, is a made-up word to deceive you and me. So we're just talking about Islam. We're not talking about political Islam. That's the reality.
Yeah, well, when you look at this, and I think Bill Warner does a good job of trying to differentiate between the two. However, when he only ascribes a political component to it, what he's doing is he's completely discounting the religious component to it, because he's not I don't know what religion Dr. Warner is. I don't think he's ever professed the faith in Christianity, at least not publicly that I've seen. But the fact is that he always differentiates between the politics and the secular part of it versus the religious admonitions of it. But to do that, you have to ignore the religious part of it. You have to ignore the Quran. The Quran is supposed to be their word of God. So when it says fight those who do not believe in Muhammad and or Allah in the last days, or what Muhammad prescribes, then that is, that might be, according to him, a political admonition, or a political what's the word I'm looking for here? A political
aspiration?
No, it's where you tell somebody to go out and do something, but it doesn't matter. But he ignores that piece right there. But when we look at the roots of all of this, the motivation what motivates somebody to pick up everything that they own, leave everything that they own, and march I gotta sneeze. No, I don't. Okay, march halfway around the world and attack people and kill people and ethnically cleanse them. What type of, what would motivate you to do that? Wealth? Well, they got, the booty. That's true. But there's something else there that I've said several times in the show, and I think many of you agree. There's a demonic component to it. In order to do, if you look at what those Hamasholes did to the Jews, and you read some of the reports that have come through there, seen some of the pictures, videos. I have a video here. As a matter of fact, let me just take a little break from this and go to a video right here. This one right here, feminist group. Let me see. Oh, what does feminism have to do with? Well, you just go ahead and watch this. This lady is going to, she's going to call out the feminists, but at the same time, there's an interview in here of one of the Hamasholes that they caught. And listen to what he says.
Violate women. On October 7th, Hamas terrorists had specific instructions that were found in their pockets to violate women. Women were raped, women were murdered, women were burned alive. Their lifeless bodies paraded on streets in Gaza as civilians chant, spitting at them with pride. 240 innocents were kidnapped. Over 100 women, little girls, baby girls.
Listen to what this pig says.
يوسخوا فيهم يعني ينيلوهم كلمة بس هذيك
وليش ياخذوا الولاد الصغار والاطفال؟
يمسخوهم.
Did you guys see that? Let me replay that.
It's pretty sickening.
الصغار والاطفال
يمسخوهم.
Okay, so this is what these guys do, and people want to somehow make and to try to justify what these guys did. Are you kidding me? raping little girls. Why? Because they wanted to dirty them. Who thinks that way? How can you possibly think that way?
Muslims,
You have
Islam.
you have to have lost your soul. You have to be demonically inspired to go out and do that. And where does that inspiration come from? This little book behind me here, this one right here. We call it the Quran and the Hadith and the Sirah, the life of Muhammad. And it's as it's imposed in the Shir. Oh, hold on. What are you doing down here? Get back up there. You can't see you. Come on up here. There we go. From the Sharia. That's what I think of the Sharia. Okay. Can we go back to the slideshow? Is everybody okay with that? Let me see here.
Isn't there more of the video to play? I thought there was more.
No, it's just all that is I just wanted to show the mindset of Hamas. I have more.
I got a video to show real quick to show you the people that are converting to Islam. Real quick, short video. Let me play it. Share screen. Okay.
Do we have to play all of it? Don't play all of it.
It's just 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Just started reading the Quran, and I am so excited about it. People thought when I first asked that I just wanted to read it out of curiosity, but I want to read it to study it. I started following somebody on social media that teaches the Quran and hosts a Quran book club for Muslims and non-Muslims, so I'm really excited to start going to that. She was describing the chapter of the bee, and that just blew my mind. Like the way that she describes things and the way that the Quran describes things actually makes sense to me. And
makes sense to this crazy person.
Allah is beyond gender. Did you know that actually scholars believe that there are two Qurans, the Quran of nature and the Quran.
What the hell is that? Never heard of that.
And did you know that each chapter is named after a natural phenomenon?
Natural phenomenon.
Blowing my mind, and I'm so excited. I got sticky notes so that I could mark out things that I was drawn to, and I'm not even through the first chapter, and I already have a bunch of sticky notes. I'm definitely gonna have to buy more tabs. I'm honestly having a whole revolution with myself, where the way that I describe the universe and the things that I believe in are actually described in the Quran of believing in Allah. And I've never thought that I believed in God before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of I think I actually believe in God. If you've been curious, I really recommend it. There are a lot of people who are converting. There's a lot of people who are reading it. I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. And I don't know. I know that this is exactly what I need right now. I just wanted to say thank you and just point out how excited I am.
Yay.
Okay.
Yep. Somebody want to tell him. Here's the real funny thing, and this is a phenomenon. You remember back in after 9/11, all the Muslims were claiming all these hipster wokes or youngins. They all read the Quran because of 9/11. They all converted to Islam. No, seriously, Islam does have this. It has this thing where after Muslims do this tragedy, for some reason these weak people, because they want to prove everybody wrong, they will go out and read the Quran and they will believe all the bull crap, like scientific miracles that nobody believes anymore, or that Islam is a religion of peace. And then they start realizing what Islam really is. And so there is this big bump, this big spike, but then quickly after a couple months, they all leave and they're like, yeah, this is all wrong. We actually finally found out what it was like. You know what I mean? Except the ones that are invested with it, the scammers, like the people who make money off it on YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, I just find that really funny that someone who is has an unstable mind, completely and totally unstable, psychotic delusions, totally actually has a mental illness, is embracing Islam or finds wonder in the Quran. And that every chapter is named after a natural phenomenon, like I don't know, the cow, the book of the woman. You know what I mean? I mean the names of the Quran are not named after natural phenomenons. Well, I guess woman you could say is a natural phenomenon, but other than that, which he is not a woman. Other than that, I mean, They're not named after natural phenomena, and how easily these people are just so duped because they have weak minds and they are actually stupid people. Anyway, with that, you can go back to your slideshow.
Okay. Thank you.
I
just got bombarded with anyway.
Hate mail.
All right. Yeah. No, it's Facebook Messenger stuff. I went hunting this morning. I took my grandson hunting this morning, just as an aside. And we went to the range yesterday. We took, I have a couple Ruger 1022s. The one that I let him use had a scope on it. The one that I had had a mil dot sight. And we went in, we zeroed them in yesterday. And we got up early this morning. I have these 25 round banana clips that you put them in. So we got plenty of ammunition in them. So we head off to the woods and we get there. And I mean, the woods is just loaded with squirrels. We saw 5 squirrels probably within the first 20 minutes. And for some reason, the scope on mine came loose. The rail came loose. So now the scope, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside of it. I shot 25 times and missed 25 times. It was like I was in, I don't know. It was like a bad dream. And then my grandson, the one of the rails on the back, not the rails, the screw on the back came loose, so his sight's off. And what are the odds of that happening? So we shot 50 times and got a grand total of 0 squirrels. Nobody cares, but anyway.
0 squirrels.
0
You're
squirrels.
shooting like I would.
I would hope not, but I mean, it was just, it's like playing baseball and somebody just throws you these big, beefy ball, right? Just a meatball to hit, and you can't hit it. You just can't, and that's what it was like. You just can't hit it. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's get back to this. I'm sorry for that aside. All right, present. What am I doing here? Okay, is there something going? Oh, I have it up here. Here we go. All right. Okay. Let's get back to where we are. So what year are we in? We're in 1270s. Oh, we're in the Crusades. That's right. We were talking about the Crusades. Here they're invading England, and thousands of Jews are expelled from England, were arrested and robbed and expelled from France. Yeah, I remember this. This is around no, that's not around. That's 170 years later. The Mamelukes. The Ottomans defeated the Byzantines. Nicaea is captured by the Ottomans. Ottoman forces capture Gallipoli. Ankara is captured. Gallipoli and Adrianople was captured by the Ottomans, Bulgarians. Northern Caucasus versus the Tamarinian Empire. Now, Tamerlane, folks, was probably, if you ever want to Google somebody and find somebody that is evil, that's this guy, Tamerlane. Crusaders, of course.
But they brag about him. Wait. You got to give more information. You're just kind of going over dates and stuff.
I know. I just trying to give everybody an overview.
Anyway.
Yeah,
okay, so the Tamarin guy, okay, from the Golden Horde. See, Muslims like to brag. Okay, so here's what happened with the Golden Horde. So the Mongols, okay, go in, and Mongols were, well, brutal, but they were basically sort of on the Roman model, where they would come to a city and they would say, hey, surrender. And if the city didn't surrender, they would totally, completely destroy it and completely destroy every city that was in alignment with you. Well, anyway, the Mongols sent off emissaries to the Muslims, I think in India or wherever it was, okay, in the Hindu Kush, that area. And the Muslims, they sent them back beheaded. I mean, and then the Golden Horde tried it again. And they butchered up their emissaries, okay, whatever. So the Mongol horde said, you know what, Genghis Khan and his sons, Tamerlane, I think, was one of his sons. They said, screw this, we're going to put you all to the sword. So that's pretty much what they did. They were completely and totally brutal. But then, and they considered this a miracle. This butcher, this dude that slaughtered, okay, millions of people and raped, hundreds of thousands of women with his army. Okay, this guy that just was a terror, okay, in the Hindu Kush in that area, converts to Islam. Why? Because it's easier to govern people. Okay, if you convert to their religion or accept their religion, he didn't change. It didn't change him. He was still a butcher. He was still a murderous, rampaging maniac. You know what I mean? But they actually praise this and consider this a good thing, a blessed thing, that the Mongols converted to Islam. Yeah. So again, these are the people that convert to Islam. They are the mentally unstable boys that think they're girls. Okay? And murderous, genocidal maniacs.
Yeah.
Okay?
But
Alright?
yeah,
I mean, no,
Tamerlane is notorious for just the number of people that he butchered, and the number of people that he enslaved. And some of the stories that come out of there are just, horrific in nature. And when we think of, how warfare is supposed to be conducted versus how it's conducted, this guy would, of course, be one of the biggest war criminals. I wouldn't say in history, but sorry. Okay, let's
he was
get.
a good Muslim. They consider him a good Muslim.
Well, good for him. He's in hell today. Sorry, but that's just that's just the way it is. He's in hell today. Good or bad. Let me try something here. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Does this? Let's see. Nope, that does not work. Sorry, I'm going to take that back off because we all know we want to read this. Okay, so what I was doing up here, this is 1492. This is when Isabella and Ferdinand expelled all the Muslims from Spain. From the Granada was the part of Spain, I believe, that they were in. Let's see, you have the Kingdom of Venice facing off Ottomans. You have the Mongol army versus the Uzbek, Ottoman versus European armies, Hungarian kingdom. Oh, this is the battle of not Venice. What's word I'm looking for? Let's see. Let me see if it's on here. Castle of Eger by Dova, the Hungarians. What was the name of that city in Austria that was laid siege to by the Muslims up until 1588, I believe it was. Maybe it's on here. Well, here's Lepanto. That was a naval battle. Russia. Yeah, they're fighting the Russians. There you go. They're fighting the Russians too. Let's see. Kingdom of Indians, non-Indians, Afghans. Now they're all the way out east. The Ottomans and the Portuguese. The Portuguese, I'm crying out loud. The Romanians, they're fighting. The Austrian. Here it is. Is this? No, but let's see. Polish, Lithuania versus Lithuania is clear up by its northern part of Russia, for crying out loud. The League of the Rhine. Let's see. Post-Lithuanian, Victoria, Vienna. Oh, there it is. The Gates of Vienna. That's what it was. 1683. This is where the Polish forces pushed back the Muslims in Vienna. That's the city I was trying to think of. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Russo-Turkey, Russo-Turkish War, United States. Oh, this is where we get to the United States kicking off in Morocco. And if you have any questions about that, that's where the American Navy, we didn't have a Navy at the time. So our ships were being seized on the high seas by not only the Muslims here, but also the French and the English later on. And they would take the crews captive, sell them into slavery, and steal the ships and the cargo. And this is where we got in the War of Tripoli with the Barbary pirates. And, of course, the USS Philadelphia was the ship that we went back and got. Let's see, Serbia. They had Vlad the Impaler on here. I must have missed him. That's okay. More Lebanon. Oh, here we go. Lebanon. Herzegovina. Bulgaria, Serbian, Montenegro, Turkey, Armenian. Oh, here we are, the Armenians, fighting the Armenians. Black Sea Armenians. During World War II, 1.5 million Armenian Christians were targeted and killed. We're going to come back to that. Greece, same thing happened there. We're going to come back to that. Cyprus, Lebanon, 1975. And so as you can see, this goes on and on and on and on, and it does not stop, folks. It just keeps on going. So for 1,400 years, there has been this push to commit genocide and ethnic cleansing on Christians. It isn't just Christians. It's Jews and other people groups such as we saw the Chinese. And some people might say that, well, the Russians aren't Christian. Well, it can make that argument today, but at the time I would say that they were Christian. But as you can see, it's just a constant type aggression. This is the Armenian genocide that I was talking about. If you look at the population before World War I and the Ottoman Empire going after them, and here's the population after that. They killed 1.5 million people, folks. 1.5 million people were killed by the Turks, or the Ottoman Empire, which was Muslim. They purposely targeted Christians, 1.5 million of them, and killed them. And also it happened in Greece. I think it was like 900,000, 300 to 900,000 people were killed in Greece also. So as you can see that it doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop with, the Armenian genocide. It was other types of genocide that they've committed. So the question is how can you convince people to do that? And we talked briefly about earlier about doing that. How do you convince somebody to leave their home and go halfway across the planet and go kill other people that they have no, they don't know, number one. They have no relationship with, other than that they don't have the same religion. What motivates people to do that? And it could be economic reasons. I agree with that. It can be, that your king wants to get more land, or you want to get more natural resources for your country. Okay, I can understand. I don't agree with it, but I can understand that. But it's the religious component here that we're talking about today. It is the religious component that motivated people to go out and do this. So let's take a look at what the Nazis did. First off, let's look at what the Nazis did. Nazis, there was just kind of a pattern that they followed when they committed Holocaust against the Jews. Let me get my laser pointer out here. They would cite agreements. At the time in Germany in the 1920s, you had mass poverty, rapid inflation, unemployment was really high. The communists were trying to take over the country. Thank you, Karl Marx. And the Germans actually feared to death the Bolsheviks from the Soviet Union. So you had to, cite agreements. Well, we have all this poverty. We have all this unemployment. We have all this inflation. So what do? What was the causes? Well, it was the Treaty of Versailles. If you look at the Treaty of Versailly at the end of World War I, the Treaty of Versailles required Germany to give back a lot of land. They had to give up land because they lost. Losers, when you lose a war, you start a war and you lose a war, you have to give the land back. And if they want to take any land from you, they can. And that's what France did. And Germany couldn't do anything about it. The Treaty of Versailles also required Germany to pay reparations to the Allied powers. And this bankrupted Germany. So when we get to this Treaty of Versailles, let me go back to this, pay reparations. So who runs the banks? Well, the Jews were were basically in a lot of these soft, what's the word I'm looking for? Employment or careers in Europe. Why? Because they were not allowed to join unions, join guilds, develop skills. So they went into banking and finances. So when you look at who gave away all the money in Germany, well, of course, it was the Jews, don't you see? So they could blame the Jews for this. And so they create this huge resentment of the Jews. and they start attacking them. This is where we get the crystal knob. This is where they were the night of broken glass, where they went in and they started destroying Jewish shops all across the country, and labeling them with the Star of David. This is where we see the beginning of that. And you basically terrorizing the Jewish population. And then their citizenship is taken away under the Nuremberg laws. I think this is 1938, somewhere around there. They take away their citizenship. They take away their citizenship. You can also take away their property, and you can take away their rights, and then you can take away their property. And they did. And so what did they do with them then from there? Well, they just move them into ghettos, don't you see? And so when you move them into ghettos, you can do anything that you want them to do. You created a slave labor force. You dehumanize them. Now, when we look at the dehumanization, we've read this before, have we not? We read this last week, 98:6. Those who disbelieve, they are the worst of creatures. Who are those? Let's see. They are the Jews and the Christians. The Jews and the Christians. Going to abide in the hellfire. Going to go to hell because we're the worst of creatures. When you look at the process of dehumanization, this is a peer-reviewed article, and it talks about how the Jews were dehumanized. And what you're doing is you're creating this mental experience. What we normally have is human beings. Let me explain this part, what this paper says. This paper says we as human beings normally have a moral concern for our fellow man. And I think we could all agree with that. We all have this moral desire to protect other human beings. A great example of this is there's something that's built into our brains, this innate, it's where we don't have this ability to kill other human beings. You have this mechanism in your brain that says when you pull up a gun and you go to shoot somebody, your brain says, no, don't do this. And we realized this after World War I. Because prior to World War I, when we train our soldiers, we put this paper up on the wall and we say, okay, here's the bullseye, hit it. And you would sit there and you practice shooting the paper. Well, when you got out in the trenches, you go to shoot somebody. This innate human psyche would kick in and say, don't do it. So after World War I, what did we do? We instead of using these paper targets, we started using silhouettes. It's just a silhouette of human beings. So you pop this thing up and you shoot at the silhouette, pop it up, shoot at the silhouette, pop it up. And that shuts that mechanism off to an extent when you are when you're in combat. So if you see a enemy soldier pop up, boom, you don't have, your brain does not have that mechanism saying, stop, you can't do this anymore. This paper that I'm showing you here discusses this. And it says that we have this moral concern for other human beings. Other what? Human beings. What has the Quran said? They are worst of creatures. Does it say worst of human beings? No, it says we are the worst of creatures. So you are dehumanized by Islam, by that verse right there. And it makes you a subhuman. It makes you subhuman, is what it does. So it goes on to say, perpetrators of mass violence also appear to deny the humanity of their victims, right there. So the dehumanization facilitates violence by disengaging the moral restraints that we normally have against harming fellow human beings. And this results in, or we can find this in ethnic cleansing and the genocide of other groups. So when you have a book that teaches you that people who do not follow Muhammad as a prophet are less than human, that enables you to go do what the heck you want to them. And we have just seen for 1,400 years, how this has been done. For 1,400 years, this has been done. Did Paul jump out? Looks that way. Okay, so what you also do right here, you develop slogans like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And we see it all over the Middle East today, and we see it in the United States today, and on college campuses, and even right outside of the White House. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And we even have members of Congress who post that on there. But what does that mean? What is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free? Is that a slogan that is, whoops, that's not the right one. Is that a slogan that people have for giving equal rights, freedoms, a two-state solution to the people that they think that inhabited that land for time immemorial? No. That means that everybody that is not indigenous to that land, i.e. Palestinians, and that's not even true because there's been a Jewish presence in that land. If you ever want to talk about who the indigenous ones are, it's the Jews. I mean, let's just be completely honest here. It's the Jews who are indigenous to that land. But it's those people who are to be ethnically cleansed. So who is this? Where is this? Well, here's Israel. Here's a map of Israel. And when we talk about from the river, which river is that? That's the Jordan River. To where? Well, it's the Mediterranean Sea. So all of this land right here, all of this land will be free. Free from what? Free from what? Well, free from Jews. That's exactly what they're saying. And if you don't know that, and you I don't know how many people are watching the show or come to the show or watch the show. If you don't know that by now, then you need to figure it out and you need to start telling people, because what all of this is a common mantra, and they're covering this up. What the true intent of this fight is. It has nothing to do with a little strip of land over here called Gaza. Let me go back here. This little strip of land called Gaza doesn't have anything to do with this little part of land called the West Bank or the Golan Heights or whatever. And it has everything to do with all the Jews that live in between. It has everything to do with that.
Yeah, for the Arabs, it has nothing to do with the land. Never had anything to do with the land. It's all about Jews. That Muslims cannot be ruled over by Jews. There cannot be a Jewish state in the middle of an Arab paradise or an Arab Muslim paradise. Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything in land. As a matter of fact, they'd be killing each other. The Egyptians would be killing Jordanians over who can control the land if they can control it. Syrian, I mean, they'd all be killing each other over it. I mean, if anything, the Jews are actually saving Arab lives just by being there. You know what I mean? Taking up the space. They're a buffer zone between the various Arab armies that would fight and kill each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they would be. Anyway, I'd like to play another video. This is what happened at the pro Israel rally in the UK today. Excuse me, or the anti Semitism rally. I don't know if you guys saw this, so we can switch gears a little bit, because this is most shocking. This is most shocking. So let me share the screen real quick. Got a couple clips to play. This actually just happened hours ago. Let me see here. Which one do I want?
I don't know. You're the one that took over the show.
There we go. Yeah, well, sorry. I John Madden it. There we go. Okay. This is Tommy Robinson. Look at how many cops.
Why? Why are they arresting him again? What are they doing this to him for? What the heck?
I'll play that in a second.
They're all Muslim.
Look at all these cops.
No, actually what they're doing is they're trying to keep them from taking him out.
Taking him out where?
They're trying to keep him from being murdered.
Oh,
That's
Tommy
what they're
Robinson?
doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, because he went into a pro-Palestinian protest?
No. This was at the let me pause it here. All right. No, this is at the anti-Semitism rally. This is at the pro-Israel rally where he was welcome. He was being there as a reporter. Nobody was going to harm him. The police went in there, and here I'll play that video. Here's where they come up to arrest him. This is This is just made up BS here. Let me find it here. What I do with it? Hold on. I killed it. He's at a restaurant and he's eating breakfast, getting ready to go out there, and they come up to him. Here it is. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Okay, let me place it up there because I go from virtual machine to virtual machine here. All right, that's it right there. Let me go back to you. Present. Share screen. There we go. All right.
I don't need.
All right, can you guys all hear it when I play it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm doing my job. I'm getting paid to be here as to report on this demonstration. And paid for by who? What do you mean paid for by who? I work for a company called Urban Scoop. That's the company. Yeah?
We often ask press on big events like this, their press to show their national union journalism.
You don't have to show national union journalism, so you don't know what you're talking about. As a member of the press, it's a free press. I'm free, to report my journalism, unless you want to control who can report. Is that so? You're here from the Metropolitan Police Force to control who can make reports and who can do journalism, are you? Is that what you're here for today? So explain then. But you are here. That's what you're saying.
Tommy, what's your intention about being here?
My intentions about being
from the press. So
my intentions are to do a report and to let people know of what's happening and to interview people, and that's what my intentions are, and then to go home. Yeah.
Do you intend to follow the march from the start to the finish?
Yes.
Okay.
And speak to people.
And interview them on the way.
Okay. Very calmly.
So there's three of you here now. You're expecting anyone else
Just
to attend?
Just us three. I haven't come with lots of people. I've come here to do my job. Yeah. Which is to report to people who want to.
So 35 has been put in today.
What's that mean?
Section 35.
It's first one.
Yeah, so it's for the City of London.
Yeah.
For Westminster in its entirety, the Camden into the.
What does that? Is this put on for me personally?
No, it's put on for this area to prevent.
Okay, so Richard.
Now explain what they're asking you to do. Is
What?
That right?
No, they haven't. No, what I'm asking is, I'm here at work as a journalist. Are the police deciding who can be a journalist or not?
No, this has got nothing to do with your role.
Okay, so I'm here as a journalist to report. What are you telling me that I'm not allowed to report?
You personally are not to remain here, regardless of why you've come here. It's got nothing to do with your job.
But it is, because your statement said that about freedom of the press, that the right of the journalist to report. Yeah, no, the Metropolitan Police Force. I've just dug their statement.
I haven't said anything. I've given you the reason we're asking you.
What is the reason? What is the reason?
To prevent harassment, alarm, and distress to members of this community around here. We're asking you to please leave.
To prevent?
Yes. Would you please comply with
No.
the instruction these officers have asked you?
I'm here to do my job. If you want to arrest me for doing my job, then you'll have to arrest me for doing my job.
If we arrest you, it won't be anything to do with your role or your job.
But it is, because I'm here at work to report. We have freedom of the press in Great Britain. The Metropolitan Police Force don't control which journalists are allowed to report or not, because that then is dictatorship. You're controlling the media.
Yeah, just to let you know, this was at the anti-Semitism march. This is something that Tommy Robinson supports. He has supporters there. He was not going to be causing any distress to the community or any harm to the community. Okay? And yes, this just happened today. And Grace, it's already over with. It's pretty much broken up and ended now. But yeah, this was deliberately against him. They went up to him and they pretty much arrested him.
Okay, so the march. Let me make sure I get this right. The march itself, was a march. It was a march against anti-Semitic language and people who are anti-Semitic against the Hamas. Hamasholes. It was anti-Hamas. It was an anti-Hamas type rally.
A pro-Israel, anti-Hamas.
Okay, so this is a pro-Israel. Okay, so a pro-Israel march, and they arrested him because why? Because he was going to.
Because he's
Isn't there some type of injunction against him in England that prevents all of that stuff from going on? Because because I get emails from him all the time. Advertising, I need a lawyer for this, I need a lawyer for that, But isn't he prohibited from doing things like this in England?
Well, so he was, but then that got lifted. But no, they're not letting him breathe. They despise this man, and this is the whole weight of the British government coming down on one man. Okay, they do not want.
I agree with that. I've seen them come down on this guy for years, and he's a warrior. There's no getting around that. He's definitely a warrior in this cause. It's just,
but
I'm trying to wrap my mind around what justification they can use in order to keep somebody from exercise. If they're a member of the press, how can they keep somebody from exercising or doing their doggone job as somebody in the press? And if they're supposed to have freedom of the press, okay, Dominic, there's a pro-Israel march. How can you keep somebody, and what type of justification can you use to keep somebody from doing that? I mean, what? That was a question. What is this, Brad? What is this? Brad?
Oh, this is one more I want to play. This is when they actually come up and arrest him. I want you to see this, just part of it. But we can play this. But yeah, Dominic. So how can they do this to this man? Okay, I mean, this makes no sense. They just come up, and they're even going against their own stain, which Tommy Robinson reads out. The night before, the Metropolitan Police issued a statement, which Tommy will read to them, saying that the freedom of the press is just as important as the freedom to protest. But here's another thing. These police officers, these brave Metro police officers, that it took about 50 of them to arrest this one man who's like 5 foot nothing, if he is 5 foot tall, okay, to arrest and detain him. It took about 50 of them. They stood by and watched people burn down stuff in London, tear down, defame statues, take down British flags. Okay, I mean, seriously, this is I don't get it. I don't get what's going on with the UK. They are totally backing down to these commies, these left wing total Marxists, and the Islamicists. Okay, this is an unholy union, and the UK government is backing down. Let's see what he says. Whoops, sorry. It's the police. They are double-faced as they don't arrest anyone at the pro-Hamas march, and they arrest people like pro-English and pro-Israelis.
Yeah, I saw that where they had England, people from England flying an English flag, and they arrested them for flying an English flag. Yeah, for provoking. I mean, it's absolutely sick. England's gone. I hate saying that, because that's where we get Western culture, Western civilization comes from. At least in the United States, comes from the English Bill of Rights, crying out loud, the Magna Carta. All these great arguments come from England, and look at them now. Look what state they're in. What happened to all these personal freedoms, all these liberties, standing up for your country. They're basically. There we go, right there. The Khan, whatever the guy's name's Khan. Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And they went to an old man's house who's a cancer patient, and arrested him because he put on Twitter, "Why are all these Palestinian flags? What happened to the British flags?" And they arrested him.
What were you gonna say, Ed? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that when a country reaches 14% Muslim, it's gone.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that statistic before, where like less than 2%, it's peaceful, and we're to you and your religion, me unto mine, and then up to 5%, you start seeing these demands for like halal food, special holidays, accommodations. Then when you get up to 10%, so there is a progression to it, and I've seen that. And I like, I'm going to see if I can find that and pull up a source. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm going to say here is that due to this being in progress as it is, this is also, if you go and look in the book of Daniel is judgment from God. He's turning them over to, you know, like they did to Belshazzar, and you know, they turned the land over to Nebuchadnezzar and all that good stuff, and you know, they ruled for what, 70 years, something like that, and this is that kind of judgment going on right here. They have angered the Lord enough to where He's turned them over, and this is it. I hate to say it, but this is, if you read the book of Daniel, this is why we have the book of Daniel. It shows how God controls the governments, and when He's had enough, He turns them over and gives them to these pagan heathens. And that's what He does. And God's done with England. I hate to say it. He's done with them. Unless England turns around and takes their country back. Right now, they're laying down and letting them have it.
Yeah, and I agree that they pretty much, what you have is cultural cowardice, is what I call it, where you're not proud of your culture. And your culture, the English culture, is one of individual liberties, of expressing yourself. It's very similar to the culture in the United States. American culture came from the English culture, as a matter of fact. But they've lost that, where they won't stand up for their own culture because they are afraid. They have become afraid of being called names, and that's what it comes down to. They're afraid of being called and in this case, an Islamophobe. They're afraid of being called, in a lot of cases, homophobes, transophobes, or whatever the things that people want to. They call you in order to shut down any type of dissent. So when we look, and God has, you're absolutely right. And God has done this over the centuries, where He has turned the nation over to judgment. He turned Israel over to judgment when Nebuchadnezzar came in 786. Was it 786? It was 586. Came in and completely leveled the Jewish temple and carried them off into Babylon for 70 years. They were judged by God. They were allowed to come back, and again, God finally sends the promised Messiah, and what do? They reject Him. So again, I believe that the Roman destruction of the Jewish temple in 70 A.D. and the diaspora in 137 A.D. was a judgment on God for them rejecting the Messiah. So when you see England, how could England be any different than, as a matter of fact, much less so than what Israel is to God? And so, and we see that, and England's not alone, though. I mean, we ourselves here in the United States are just as guilty as this, because as we we're moving further and further and further and further away from our Christian heritage, from our Christian roots, from our belief systems, and you have all of this. This evil creeping into our society, creeping into our schools, trying to indoctrinate our children with all kinds of sick, profane, sexual. They're sexualizing them. You look at Florida, for example. The law that was passed down there. It's just that they're not going to teach human sexuality to kids that are in kindergarten first through third, or kindergarten through third grade, and the left lost their noodle. This is if we had a firm Christian foundation, nobody would be protesting that. Everybody would be standing up and providing a standing ovation for DeSantis for getting that pushed through. And I'm not a big fan of DeSantis, but I'm just saying if we had a truly Christian nation, people would be celebrating that. But what do? We have this large part of the population that is condemning it. Okay, what else were you going to play, Rad? Is this what you're going to roll?
Yeah, I got one more. Okay. So this is I just want to let you know these coppers, they got all these cameras around them. And these coppers are coming up him and they're asking him his real name, and he's like, my real name. And they're asking him his address, and he's like, I'm not giving you my address on, with all these cameras on, people record me. What do you want to get my wife and family killed? You know what I mean?
Right.
But he does give his real name. I forget, it's something Sean Lennon or something like that. So they're going on about why they're arresting him, and he actually reads their statement. Remember, he is a licensed journalist. He is employed by this outfit. I forgot what he called it. Rebel News or something like that. But anyway, so take a listen to this. This is shocking.
The grounds of this is your presence is likely to cause harassment, alarm, and distress to attendees at the march.
Okay, sorry. Okay, can I reply? This was the Metropolitan Police Force yesterday. The right of the press to freely report on protests is no less important than the right to the protest itself. They should be able to do so without facing intimidation and aggression, officer. Yeah. Officers spoke with a journalist and her team following the incident. I'm a member of the press. I'm at work. Yeah. I'm not. Is anyone here caused alarm and distress by my presence here? Ladies, everyone's Jewish here. There's no one who's caused alarm and distress. No one has come up to you and said anything about me. You are working under the orders of Sadiq Khan and Mark Rowley. Mark Rowley is an apologist for Hamas. They're apologists for jihad. And the British public are fed up of your two-tier policing.
Use your address, but I understand why.
Officer, I'm here to do my job. Yeah.
So failing to provide with this is an offence.
I'm a journalist, I'm here to do my job. The difference is I don't put a pro-Hamas slant on it like you lot. Yeah? I'm just here to do my job. That's my cameraman. I'm at work. Do you think a member of the press should be arrested for doing their job? No. I'm glad the journalists are saying that.
So Stephen, this is your Stephen, you're listening. This is your dispersal notice. You're now face 3 dots to leave immediately. Are you going to take this off me or not? It's up to you.
Like, well, you know, it's an officer. You're embarrassing.
Stephen,
you're embarrassing.
Take that as a no.
That's pretty much it on that. But I mean, as you can see, I mean, this is just embarrassing. And that copper, I'm sorry, that copper has just got this whiny little bitch ass voice. I mean, I'm sure Tommy could take him and just beat him down. He's actually shorter than Tommy is, and Tommy, I guess, is only 5 foot tall. But this is what's happening out there. Okay. I mean, and it's just disgraceful. And look what's happening. I mean, you got them doing the same thing. Look what happened in Washington, D.C. As a comparison, in Washington, D.C., they totally were pretty much climbing up the walls of the White House gate. They were spray painting and vandalizing the White House gate and other monuments. They were completely out of control and destructive. And there's no arrest. You know what I mean? There's nothing. Just let them do it. But you know what? You show up at a pro-Israel or anti, you know what I'm saying, and forget about it.
You want to see what's being preached inside of the UK mosque?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I got a video clip on that. Let me bring that up here. Let's get you two off of there. You two are inconsequential, boring. Let me make sure I start this where it needs to start. Uh-oh, I got the wheel of death on it. Hold on just a minute. We'll be with you in a moment. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just come over here and present it. There we have it on. I don't know why I'm getting the wheel of death. That's funny.
Give me the link. Give me the link. I'll play it.
No, here it is. I'm gonna reload it. This will come up. There we go.
Now, Israel's war on Hamas has sparked suspected.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes, we can hear it.
Yes.
Preaching in some of
investigative report. A sermon at the Redbridge Islamic Centre in Ilford. The speaker prays with his congregation in Arabic to curse the Jews and the children of Israel. Talk TV had the recording translated twice independently. It's voiced by an actor.
Oh Allah, curse the Jews and the children of Israel. O Allah, curse the infidels and the polytheists. O Allah, break their words, shake their feet, disperse and tear apart their unity, and ruin their houses and destroy their homes.
And from London to Liverpool.
If the 2 billion just marched on Israel, it's all over. You spat in the direction of Israel, 2 billion, it's all over.
To Birmingham.
The stones will speak and say, "Oh Muslim, behind me there is a Yahudi, come and kill him."
Preachers at mosques across Britain have been filmed calling for victory for Hamas.
O God, heal our hearts regarding the usurping Jews and in every enemy of you and the Muslims. O God, limit their number, kill them indiscriminately, and do not leave any of them alive. O God, our Lord, disperse them, weaken their strength, shake the ground beneath their feet, and freeze the blood in
So
their
peaceful.
Make them captive to the Muslims.
And stoking hatred against Jews and Israel with alarming anti-Semitic rhetoric.
O Revenger, revenge from the oppressive aggressor occupying Zionists. O Allah, shake the earth beneath them. O Allah, limit their number, kill them indiscriminately, and do not leave any of them alive.
Rhetoric that in some cases is as violent as that of Abu Hamza, the known hate preacher who delivered sermons at Finsbury Park Mosque before it was shut down and who was deported from the UK. In Greenwich, this speaker ended his prayers with calls for Allah to grant victory over the enemy. The Met said while it understands the footage raised concern in Greenwich, no offences had been committed there. Jewish groups, though, say that police aren't doing enough and are calling for prosecutions in some cases, warning that some of these sermons could lead not only to hate crime, but extremism and even terror.
There is no difference between the rhetoric in the Hamas Charter and the rhetoric that is on display in these videos. They are utterly hateful, they are violent, and they are a threat to both Jews and non-Jews in this country. There is a real risk of more than just one person being encouraged by this rhetoric to go out and take action on the streets. And we've seen how bad that can be in the past.
Talk TV has confirmed that police are assessing video evidence from 4 of the 7 mosques we've highlighted. The Charities Commission is also examining some of the footage, as the majority are also linked to registered charities, meaning they receive taxpayers' money. In a statement, they said, "We are aware of a significant number of serious concerns, which largely concern allegations of anti-Semitic or hate speech. We're assessing them, and if there has been any wrongdoing, we'll take action." Talk TV reached out to all of the mosques and figures featured in this report. Redbridge Islamic Centre declined to comment directly to us, but previously said it launched an immediate investigation and decided that the imam will not be allowed to address worshippers again until it's concluded. No other mosques responded.
Busted. But you know what? This happens every so many years. They come out with this stuff and nothing gets done. Nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets deported. No, UK has fallen. I'm sorry, Dominic, but you should start getting ready to immigrate.
Get out of there.
Yeah, if you need support for a visa, just email me and you can put me down and I'll. I don't see Dominic leaving anywhere anytime soon. But if you ever want to come to the United States, Kafiristan is a nice place to live. That's for sure.
He doesn't need a visa. All he needs to do is fly to Mexico and cross the border.
Oh yeah, what am I thinking? Yeah, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Say Allah Akbar and you're in.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, come on in. Why not? They'll even cut down razor tape fences for you if you encounter one. They'll get the border patrol out there to cut it so you can get through. Okay. What's this? Oh, look at that. Okay. Where was I saying? I was going somewhere to. I hate doing this. Let's look and see what these peaceful Muslims are doing on the streets of Israel. I'm not sure when this was. Let me go back here. Let me make sure I know when this was taken. This is. Let's see here. I don't know. I just ran across this today on YouTube, and I thought it was a little unsettling, which I would hope most of you would think. Let's see, right here. Boom. Here's what we see on the streets of Israel. Whoop, did it come up? There we go. All right, I guess that's gonna continue to play in a loop. Yeah, so
Well, they look so peaceful.
Yeah, they're just standing around. What is this? Yeah. What do you say now? Jesus was sent to the lost sheep of Israel, and they rejected him, trying to kill him any time, and you support them, blind followers. Have you? I mean, has he read any other?
Matthew 28:19, where it says, "Go and take the message, spread the gospel to all the world." Did he read that part? Matthew 28:19.
Yeah, go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing in the name of the Father and of the Son,
and the Holy Ghost.
Let's forget
Muhammad
that.
or Allah.
Yeah, that's and this is you something so simple as that. He only came for the lost sheep. His ministry at the time only came to people of Israel because people of Israel were the only ones that would understand it. He didn't send him Christ to Zimbabwe because the people in Zimbabwe wouldn't understand the Old Testament. They didn't have the Old Testament. He sent them to the people of Israel because they would understand who he was, how he was prophesied up. So this is like talking to my first period class. It's an inclusion class, and you have to slow down and you have to go back. And it's not even though I love those kids. I mean, it's not even that bad. Talking to people like Yahya is like going into a third grader class. Let me just put it that way, where you have to.
You sure are giving them a lot of credit there, buddy.
And there's also in the Quran, where it says, I believe it's chapter 14, verse 4, where it says, Allah never sends a messenger except in the language and of the people that he was sent. Meaning Muhammad was sent only to the Arabs. And it's very clear. He says he never sends a messenger except in the language of the people he sent to. Meaning Islam is not for the Chinese, it's not for the British, it's not for London, it's not for America. It's only for the Arabs. And as an Arab, and I do represent all Arabs, I say we don't want Muhammad. And so...
Were you elected to that position, Steve, or is this?
No, I just assumed it.
You just okay. Do you have any type of documentation?
Yes, I do. I'll print it out and send it.
Okay.
I fully support Steve and his King of the Arabs. Definitely so.
King of the Arabs.
Yeah. So, but Steve, then who's the Muhammad of the Chinese?
Well,
who's the prophet to the Chinese?
Well, according you know this already, that there's 130,000, and Allah sends only in. I mean, he says in the Arabic, he never sends a messenger except in the language of the people he's sent to. And for the good thing about that verse of the Quran, the unchangeable, eternal Quran, is that means Muhammad was only sent to the Arabs. And so he wasn't sent to the Germans and to the Norwegians and the Swedes and everybody else. He's only sent to the Arabs. And like I said, as the representative of the Arabs, I reject him. And so
So are you saying Confucius could be a prophet of Islam? Or Buddha could be a prophet of Islam?
Yeah, possibly.
Yes.
Or What about the German prophet? Because German is a separate language. So the Germans have a prophet, or what about the Welsh? What about the Native Americans, the various Native Americans, the Aztecs, the Mayans? I mean, where are their prophets of Allah? Where are their Qurans?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
they
right.
did find the Shahada in the ancient German, and it was Ich bin dein Rasulan. You can hear that?
I
I'm
would say it's
trying to
more Heil
find.
Hitler, but yeah, Sieg Heil. the German Shahada, yeah.
I'm trying to find a version here. Here it is, Orthodox Jewish Bible. And what was that thing that let's see. Here it is. Okay, so Jesus contradicts himself as the Lord of our God. One is the opposite, to go baptize others in the name of three deity. Any explanation smarts? I'm not okay. I don't know what smarts means, but that's okay. So when we look at the Shahada, somebody right below that talked about the Shahada. Who was that? Yeah, that was Dr. Kufarphobia. Yeah, the Shahada. If you look at the Shahada, this is, let me put this up here. Not the Shahada.
Yeah. Where does it say in the Bible that God is three gods? Where does it say that again? I can't find that passage.
It's not there, but that's okay.
I know.
Okay, so Shema. Notice it says Deuteronomy 6:4. Shema Israel. Hear, O Israel, Adonai, which is God, Elohim, which is God, Adonai, which is another name for. These two are names for God because they did not want to pronounce Yahweh. And then Elohim, right here. Let me get right here. Elohim, how it's pronounced there, is the plurality of God. God is like saying gods, plural, but it means three or more. So Adonai, 1, 2, 3 is one. Echad is one. So even in the Shema, even in the Shema, where you want to talk about the oneness. What is that called? The oneness in Islam. What do we call that? That's
you talk about Tawheed?
Tawheed. There we go. Tawheed. I couldn't remember it. Sorry. It's not that I pay all that kind of attention to it, but the Tawheed, whatever it is, that even that's wiped out by the Old Testament. So when you start talking about three deities, this is Muhammad. This is Muhammad speaking. What is that?
Sorry, I didn't have my.
This is Muhammad speaking. When you say, oh, the three deities, that's Muhammad speaking. Muhammad did not understand the Christian theology. So when you say, oh, you worship three deities, God the Father, God the Son, God Mary, that's Muhammad speaking. This is what you would get from somebody that is an illiterate 7th century caravan thief. But the Christian theology has never been three separate gods, plural. It has always been one God in three persons. Now, the question then is, how is that possible? Well, that's paradoxical. Christians admit that that's paradoxical, but we don't, because we know that God is spirit. So can you give me the ontological properties of what a spirit is? Can a spirit have three persons within it? If not, then you're going to have to demonstrate that ontologically to me, physically to me. And the problem is that you can't. Go ahead.
And to put it in layman's terms, this isn't how it is, but to put it in layman's terms, when you get in a car, do you call it a car or do you call it by the 10,000 parts it's made by? Right? You call it a car, right?
It depends on what type of car it is. If it's a Toyota, never mind. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So, they can't be consistent with this.
If I could,
because of that, they can't be consistent.
If I could say one thing too about the word tawheed, and I know you guys have done stuff on this, but it's not anywhere in the Quran.
What?
And it doesn't mean one either. It means unity. Tawheed means
one of
unification. Tawheed means unification. Ahad means one of. But the word tawheed, which is their monotheism, It's not even in the Quran, and it doesn't mean one. And no matter how much you argue with, how much you tell them, Tawheed means the unification, which is very close to our theology, But anyway.
Well, again, this when we start talking about the Quran and it's coherence, it's theological coherence, it's non-existent. So when you mention this word tawheed, and it means unity, would you say, Steve? It meant what?
It means unification or union.
Union. Okay. So it doesn't even really mean oneness. It doesn't mean one entity. It means the union of two or more separate entities into one, or what?
Yes, like there's the Arab Tawheed al-Arabiya, the Arabic unification of Syria and Egypt and Saudi Arabia. They actually use the word Tawheed in the union of Arabic countries or something like that. And so it does not mean one; it means a unification or a union. So.
Okay, well, if Yaya wants to come up, I posted the StreamYard link in chat. If he wants to come up, that's we can have a
I'm going to say good night, everybody.
Good
night. All right, Darcy.
I'm going to be
pray that you're doing well. And also, I want to know what happened to that Israeli flag icon. What is up with that? You have something up there now. Thanks to have new. Okay. Well, I'll all right. The Israeli flag is going to have to take second.
I'm going to be changing it back soon. But to Yaya, I wish you would start defending Islam instead of attacking Jesus.
Well, they're never going to do that. We know that, Darcy. I mean,
right.
We know it's never. It doesn't happen. They always want to be on the offensive. They cannot protect. I mean, would you want to defend Muhammad? I mean, be honest about that.
Would you absolutely not. Show later on.
Send him the link.
Eric, I got a question for you. The Shema that you put up there, that's kind of totally different than the Hebrew that I read. Because in the Hebrew, it actually says, "Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one."
Okay, this is the Hebrew. This is if you look at. Let me put this back up here.
Because I looked at the Hebrew and that's what it says. It's
it's right here. See, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing a show in about a half an hour after this one finishes, or 7:30.
Okay, this is the Orthodox Jewish Bible, and it is kind of a cross between Hebrew and English. So if you look at here, these are the Hebraic words that we find in the Shema.
Okay.
And it's "Hear, O Israel," and then the name of God, Adonai, and then God's, right here is God's. Whoops, what are you doing? God's, and then the name Adonai again, and then the number 1.
Okay, but pull up the Hebrew. Because
well, they don't have the Hebrew.
No. Look at the Hebrew. Look at 6:4. Look at the Hebrew interlinear. Because when I looked it up, it has the name Yahweh. It doesn't say the Adonai or Elohim.
Okay, well, that might be a literal translation. They might be.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was looking at the literal translation.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where do these Jews get off? But here I am, Jew bashing, but I have this is the Holy Bible, and this is the Hebrew form of it. They got Hebrew on the left, English on the right. And I was taking a Hebrew class, and I just suck at it. I'm going to be honest with you, and I didn't do very well. Let me find where Deuteronomy is. Okay, that'd be on page 329. 329. Oh my goodness, and they go backwards. No wonder. It was years ago that I took this class. Okay, so 329, here we go. Our numbers.
I have it on the screen for you if you want to put it up.
Okay.
Whoops. Hold on a second, let me blow it up. How do I do it? I'm over here. I'm getting like Eric.
Okay, yeah, that, and again, Yahweh, that where it says Yahweh and Yahweh, Adonai is the name that the Hebrews used for God
to replace it. Okay.
to replace it. Yeah, so you can get away with saying, yeah, it says Yahweh, but they use Adonai, so they do not. Let's see.
Right, because they can't use God's
Okay.
name.
And again, here it is. Hear, O Israel, the Lord Adonai is our God. Echad, or not Echad. What the heck did I just? Elohim. The Lord Adonai is one. So that is the transliteration, not the transliteration, but the translation that is in this Bible, and that is of the Hebrew. And again, like I mentioned before, you're right. It is Yahweh. But when they translate it, when they use that word, when Deuteronomy is written, they did not want to, or not when it was written, but they're going to use that now. As a matter of fact, let me just say that, because Moses would use Yahweh, and so if Moses, of course, is getting this from God, he's going to use Yahweh also. All right, what else are we going to talk about today? Did I finish my slideshow? I didn't finish this. There's one other thing that I wanted to address here. Let me see here. BDS. Are you all aware what BDS is?
Yeah, but unfortunately, they won't boycott all the medical and scientific stuff. Like medicine and computers. You know what I mean? I mean, I'll be all for the Muslim doing that.
No, it's not. No,
If
it's
we
not.
could
It's
just
not
get them off
BDS.
the internet.
BDS is the Bush derangement syndrome.
Bush derangement syndrome.
This is what people suffered from when George Bush was president. If you remember the lashings he used to get, George Bush, Mr. Moderate Republican guy, if you remember how the press treated him, and this is another question, the political question. Yeah. Trump comes back in. How are they going to treat Trump? They're going to treat him like crap, like they did before. But do you think for a second that anybody, if Ron DeSantis got in there, Nikki Haley got in there, or any other Republican candidate got in there, they're going to treat him or her any differently than they treat Trump? Do you think for a second they're going to do it? No.
That's why I never watch them anymore. I'm done with our news agencies in this country. They are fake. They're useless.
Yeah, I agree. What they've done is they've turned into an echo chamber. They will not allow dissent. It's like our colleges. Our colleges have turned into echo chambers. There is no conservative dissent to try to push back, or at least to hold up a sign telling them how stupid their ideas are. If you can constantly spew that to 18, 19-year-old minds of mush, then, that you've lost. I mean, because that's all they're going to do is they're simply just going to sit there and regurgitate what you said. But for this BDS thing, let me put this up here. This is where they're trying to not only hurt Israel physically. Now, lately we've seen physically how they're trying to hurt Israel, sending terrorists, the Hamasholes, into Israel to literally shoot people in their beds, burn them to death, rape their women. But that's not going to get rid of Israel. Why? Because Israel has the IDF, and the IDF is the most professional army on the planet, both militarily and ethically and morally. Oh, by the way. But with that said, you have this movement out there called the BDS movement. This is the boycott. Let me put this back up here. Boycott, divest, and sanction. And in this movement, they're trying to crush Israel economically. Israel has the largest economy, as far as I know, in the Middle East, and they don't have that because they have the most natural resources. They have that because they have the biggest brain trust. Is basically what they have.
Yeah, and aren't they like the largest supplier of fruit to
Europe, right? Yeah,
European continent.
and it's a flippin' desert of all things. How do you become the largest supplier of fruit when you live in a, whoops, wrong one. When you live in a desert, you don't. Okay, so this map right here, number one, is a lie. When we look at, why don't they include the Transjordan, which would be like this entire map here? Why do they only have this for the 1947? All of this land that was offered as a split, as a what's the word I'm looking for? When they're trying to get Israel to be recognized by their Arab neighbors, every single proposal Israel accepted. The people of Israel said, "We'll take it. We'll take it, regardless of how small it was. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it." And every single time, the Arabs, the people that lived in the area, said, "No, we will not recognize the Jewish state." Every time. That's history. So when we start saying that this was Palestine, this wasn't Palestine at this time. There was no such thing as Palestine at this time. And then when they became a country in 49, these were these were the borders in 40. This is 67, the borders after the 67 war. And then today, here's what's out here in the West Bank. And I'm gonna say this: it's lucky that there's any green out there at all. It is only by the grace of God that there is some green out here in what they call the West Bank. And the reason why I say that is because Jordan attacked Israel from that land. And the laws of international warfare clearly say that if you are an aggressive nation and you attack another country from that location within your country, you have no right to that if you get that back at the conclusion of the war. So the very fact that there's any green in that area right now is by the grace of God, not by the laws of international war and conflict. All right, let's go back to this. All right.
Hey, Eric, could I just say one thing as king of the Arabs?
Yes, go ahead. Okay.
I just want to say that, you know what? The Arabs,
live long and prosper.
Yeah, the Arabs are really, I think they're being kind of good right now, because look at Saudi Arabia, look at Qatar, look at the countries that have entered the Morocco. Look at, I hate to say it, look at Lebanon. Nobody's wanting to get involved in this war right now to defend Hamas. And it's like, and Saudi Arabia is not backing out of their, they haven't entered into the Abraham Accords yet, but they're not backing out and saying this is over because of Gaza. And neither have the other countries that have entered into the Abraham Accords, like Dubai and all those. They're still saying the Abraham Accords are here to stay. And it's like, you know what? If you look at Ezekiel 38, where it talks about the countries that come to attack Israel, those aren't Arab countries. It's like Iran, it's like Turkey, it's like all these other countries. And the Arab countries that are, especially the ones around Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, they're not part of the Ezekiel 38 coalition. And so I just, as king of the Arabs, I just want to put a positive plug in for us too. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I have somebody that's sitting backstage right now, and I'm debating whether or not I should let him come on stage. And here's why. For years, this guy has been trolling me. I don't know. Rad, are you there? Rad might be out, taking a break. I don't know. Let's just bring him up and hear what he has to say. Okay, Mr. Gregory, welcome
Mr.
to the
Smith,
show.
how you doing, sir?
There you are.
Yeah, first off, I want to apologize to you, Mr. Smith. I don't know how many things I can go over to apologize for you, but first and foremost, I want to apologize to you. Second of all, I come to have a dialogue with you about this because I think it's an interesting topic. But how you doing, sir?
I'm well. Okay, so what
Well, hey, for peace offering, you want for peace offering, for peace offering, I want to send you a lamb.
A lamb.
Yeah, I have a farm. I have lamb. I have chickens. I have lambs. I have goats. I have everything.
That's okay. I'm good on all of that. Let's just have the conversation. Okay. So what exactly is it that you want to add to this conversation?
I mean, we're talking about Israel genocide, but we got genocide going all over the world right now. There's genocide going in North Korea. We got genocide going in China. I mean, we got genocide going in Africa. I mean, it's bigger than a world problem right now.
Then why is everybody focused on Israel? Why is everybody focused on Israel?
The problem with Israel, the thing with Israel is the original Zionists that started the movement were not even religious Jews. They were sectarian Jews. They weren't even religious Jews. So the most of 80% of the Zionists you got in, they believe in the Talmud, where they talk bad about Miriam. They talk bad about Jesus, who we call Isa. So we got to be careful with their line. The people shooting rockets, that's haram. You can't do it under the commandments. I mean, Prophet Muhammad said, no matter how repressed we get, don't matter who we press, we got to follow by these commandments. I live in a town in Berkeley, Florida, probably about 2,000 Palestinians. 95% of these people around here selling haram in the store, alcohol, lotto tickets, bunch of hypocrites. But
so you,
I think.
So are you saying Quran 9:5 is abrogated?
I believe do you know the test field of it? We can go over the test field right now.
No,
I know the English.
I want to know. Do you think Quran 9:5 has been abrogated?
Yes, it has.
No, it hadn't either.
Because if it wasn't, then my Quran tells me to come kill you. And Quran 9:16
cancels out
what's after
other verses, bro?
You want to go over the test field? I know the English transmission. I can go over the test field with you.
Quran 9:5 cancels out 120. It abrogates.
Okay, give me the. Okay, so with all due respect, give me the test field. I just studied this. I studied this test field 2 days ago. Give me the test field IR 1 through 9, please. If not, I can educate you.
You won't educate me, brother.
Well, give me the test field. It's when Prophet Muhammad was going from Mecca to Medina, when the pagan Meccans was on to kill him. They said, do not fight him in the 4 months. Come on. I know the test field English by heart.
Here it is.
Why do you need a tafsir? Why do you need tafsir for a book that says it explains everything in detail?
Because somebody has more knowledge than me. Some of these people are studied with Tabali.
You just said you know the book, buddy.
Why do you need? Okay, do you know your Bible?
For the book now.
Do you know your Bible in Korean Greek?
Don't try to deflect to the Bible.
I'm not. I'm asking you. Do you know your tafsir, your own Bible?
My Bible does not make the claim that explains all things in detail and doesn't qualify all things like your book.
It says some things is in detail. Some things
book
you need.
Says
my book. I know my book. You don't know my book. I know your book better than you know your book. That's your problem.
Your book better than you do, brother.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the first. Give me Surah Baqarah, the English translation test field right now, or I can go 2 hours and I give you.
Why you need translation?
Okay, Ed,
why you need Surah translation?
Ed, hold on. Marshall,
he's proving my point.
I know. Let me just. Okay, it's okay. Marshall, I muted you. I'm not sure. Marshall, can you hear me? Marshall, can you hear me? You're talking. Can you hear me, Marshall? Marshall, I muted you. Nobody can hear you. I'm gonna put a tafsir up here by Ibn Abbas on this verse. Okay. Can you hear me, Marshall? I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, Marshall, you muted yourself now. Hold on. Let me try unmuting you. Marshall.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's the tafsir. Right.
I don't have my glasses, so read it to me, please. I don't have my glasses.
Here's what it says. Then when the sacred months have passed, then after the day of immolation, when the month of Muharram passes, slay the idolaters.
Yes.
Whose treaty is for 50 days.
Yes.
Wherever you find them.
Them other pagan Meccans are on their way from Mecca to Medina to kill Prophet Muhammad.
Where does it say that in the verse?
It doesn't say that. Okay, hold on.
If you read down further in the test field, you'd realize that. Or being Isa, what's Isa? Isa can teach you the test field better than I can.
Okay, don't talk over me, please. Don't talk over
I'm
me.
sorry, sir.
Okay, here it is.
Bring
Sorry.
Isa up. Isa
During
knows
the-
more than me.
During the sacred months or any other time,
Yes.
and take them captive, imprison them, and besiege
Yes.
them where?
Yes.
In their homes, prepare them each ambush on
Yes.
every road they tread for trade.
Yes.
What if
Yes.
they repent? Hold on, if they repent
Yes.
from idolatry,
Because they're
What does that
worshiping idols. They're worshiping idols at the Kaaba on the way to kill Prophet Muhammad Salam. That's why
Okay,
that's
where
why
does it
that was
say
sent
that?
down.
It doesn't
Where
say
does it
that.
say that?
And believe in
The
Allah.
basic Muslim have this knowledge. Ask Isa Kibla. He's backstage. He'll give you the task.
See,
Same
it
as
doesn't
me.
say it. It doesn't say it. And now you're saying the basic Muslim knows that.
Yeah,
So
go
you
there.
can't show
This
me
is
where it says that.
And establish, hold on, and establish worship, and
Okay, go to the next one.
acknowledge the idolaters, and pay the poor due, acknowledge the payment of the poor due, and then leave their free. Then leave their way free if they do all these things.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
I agree 100%. But that's not for this time. That's not for this time and generation. That's like saying me go back in the dormitory where it tells Musa Salam to kill every woman, animal, child. Is that telling me to go kill all these people? It's a time for place. That's why you guys need to understand the Quran.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
Read further down in the test field. You can follow
writing your own Quran,
Isa.
buddy.
Isa
You're writing your
Kibla
own
can teach
Quran.
you. Isa, you don't know the Quran. Have Isa Kibla teach you your Quran. He'll teach you the Bible too.
it doesn't teach
Yeah,
that, Marshall.
it doesn't teach
say
that, buddy.
I've been
say
studying
that.
with Isa. I learned more from Isa in 2 weeks than I learned from a year in some school.
Well, if you learned all that, how come you can't give me the verse, buddy?
I can't. I'm waiting for you to tell me what you know.
No.
So then I can correct you
I'm
in front
still
of.
waiting
and
on
then
the verse.
Wait on Yahweh.
Where it says it's all
Is this Ed Van
explained in
Halen?
detail like that.
Is this Van Halen the guy who was talking about dropping bombs on his father's head, going from camp to camp?
See how he's trying to deflect again? See how he's trying
No,
to
I'm just asking. Is this the same guy? I disabled 3 your Facebook. I know
See
you don't
what
like
he's
me.
doing?
I'm a nice guy. You want me
See
to
how
send
he's
you 2
doing?
goats and 5 chicken? I'll send you 5 goats and 3 chicken. No problem.
Yeah, whatever,
I'm reading. Okay, I'm reading. I mean, I'm posting Al Jalalain up here, and he's basically saying the same thing. It doesn't say anything about.
Go farther down. Go farther down, Eric. Go to 9:6. It says 9:6. If any of the party needs, seeks your protection, deliver them to your place of safety, and tell them about Allah. For them, and the people do not know. Go to 9:6 and tell me what it says.
It says
And read the Tashbih on that.
If anyone.
Go to 9:6.
Dude, you got to let me talk. I mean, you got to.
I'm sorry. I know what 9:5 says. Now go to 9:6. If any of the party if any of the adulterers seeks your protection, then grant him.
Okay, here's what here's Al Jalalain, what he says in 9:6. It says, if any one of the idolaters, Adhuan, one is nominative being the following, seeks your protection, that validates. Seeks your protection.
And what does that mean?
You become a dhimmi. Request security from you against being killed, then grant him protection. Okay, no problem. Provide security for him so that he might hear the words of God, the Quran, and afterward convey to him his place in security. That is the dwelling place of his foes. If he does not believe, so that he might reflect upon his situation, that which is mentioned is because they are people who do not know the religion of God. So they must be made to hear the Quran in order to become to know the religion. So this doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about not killing them. The only thing it says is that, okay, if they want to have protection, then give them protection for the sole purpose, so they can hear the Quran and we can convert them to Islam. Then the question becomes, well, what if they still disbelieve? What if they still reject Muhammad as a prophet? And what if they refuse to become under their protection? What happens to them then? All right, I'm going to unmute you, Marshall. Hold on. Unmute. Here we go. All right, go ahead. What happened?
Well, then if you don't accept Islam, you don't say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, then we put you on the Jazna tax, which is 10% of your money, which is I'm paying 32% now to this government, and they don't represent me. I'd rather pay 10% Jazna to a Muslim that know they're dropping me off food every day.
Hey, what if I refuse to pay that tax, Marshall? What happens?
then you have to be. Then you're banished from the land.
What if I don't want to be banished from the land? I want to stay home.
Then you're my neighbor.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay, let's hold on. And it isn't that I wouldn't mind being neighbors with you, Marshall. Not at all. It's
No,
just,
we get along just great, man. You wouldn't have to look. If you're my neighbor, you wouldn't have to go to the market again. Come get your goat, lamb, chicken, vegetables, everything you need. No problem. Come on.
Let me go up here to.
Prophet Muhammad said, "Feed and clothe everybody, not just feed and clothe the Muslims. Feed and clothe
Oh, wait,
everybody."
I'm on the wrong one. Okay, so if I read, let me see.
Now, what suit are you jumping to now? What suit are you jumping to now? Give me the suit and ayat so I can think ahead because I'm getting old.
929. I'm going to 929. So you tell me that if I refuse to pay the jizya, if I refuse to pay the jizya,
and you cause corruption, and you're causing corruption in the land. You're not paying taxes. You're causing fitna. You're stealing. You're robbing. You're gonna get in what? You're gonna get in prison and killed.
Causing fitna in the land is somebody not praying to Allah.
Ed, you don't know.
Causing fitna in the land is somebody not praying to Allah or Muhammad.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't even know what fitna means. Then fitna means problems.
That's exactly what it means. That's exactly what it means. You're lying.
Ed, you don't know. I don't. Fitna means problems. You don't even, Ed. You don't even know how to dig a hole, poop in the ground.
I'm going to mute you again, Marshall. Hold on a second.
Ed, you don't even know how to dig a hole and poop in the ground. YOLO.
Okay,
you're lying, Marshall, and you're a terrible liar.
Let me read this. Okay. All right.
But I gotta go. I gotta pray. My salat's coming in. Can I come back? I gotta go pray.
We're gonna be done in 5 minutes. So
okay, I come on next week. We'll continue next week.
All right. Be good. Take care.
Can we continue next week?
I'll think about it. I'll
okay.
Thank you. Right.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Okay, so here it says, "Fight those who do not believe in God, nor in the last day." Now, this is Al-Jalalain. This is a commentary. This is a test.
He's a right-hand man of Allah. I mean, of Muhammad. He's a right-hand man of Muhammad.
So, nor in the last day, they who would believe in the prophets do not forbid what God has messengers forbidden, such as wine, nor do they practice the religion of truth. So, okay, so fight those who do not believe in God, nor those who practice the religion of truth. That would be Christians. The firm one, the one that abrogated other religions. Okay, so that would be Muhammad, of course, namely the religion of Islam. Hello. From among those whom, explains Dilan, and those who have been given the scriptures, that is the Jews and the Christians. Oh, here it is right there. The Jews and the Christians, until they pay the jizya. That is the annual tax imposed on them readily and by their own, to others, and being subdued, being made submissive and compliant to the authority of Islam. So the question then becomes, what happens if I say no? I ain't giving you a dime. I ain't giving you 1 red cent of this capper's money. Oh my gosh, we've had 1 million people comment in the chat. I'm sorry, people, for doing that to you. He emailed me, and I was like, I shouldn't have brought him on. I guess maybe I made a bad decision there. But what you can see here is, the mentality that Muslims who live in the West, how they have. Now, this is completely different than, he completely ignored all of the history that we had just gone through about what Muslims have done in the past. I would be his neighbor if I refused to pay the jizya. That's not true. That's just simply not true.
Not in a Muslim country.
Exactly. Okay. We're going to call it a night. Everybody in chat, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Everybody on the panel, again, thank you for coming, spending your day with us, and opining and commenting and giving us your input. I appreciate you all so very much. Dr. Kufarphobia is going to be going live here in 30 minutes. Am I right on that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you can get over there, I might just watch because I have papers to grade. But I'll try to get over there. Send me the link on Skype.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump on. All righty, guys. God bless you all. Oh, I got to play. My gosh.
You got to play the episode.
Yeah, I got to play the cold close. Yeah, if I don't play the cold close, I'm in trouble. All right. God bless you. We'll see you next week.
Advanced, student, and specialist. That the standard narrative has holes. That's what
that the Muslims were rioting against one another. And as much as we don't want to face the fact, the Muslims were lying sometimes. They were fabricating, they were embellishing, and that might be hard to accept, but that is a reality.